I am here with Sarah deSilva, the Director of Customer Success on the commercial team at Blitzy. Sarah, what are you and your team building?
Yeah, great question, and nice to meet everyone. I'm Sarah, the Director of Operational Deployment here at Blitzy. So we're really building out the entire ecosystem of what it looks like to be a customer. Really starting from day one when we get that handoff from our sales team over to us, really making sure that we're lock in step with what we agreed on in the sales process, we're delivering on post-sales. So we're in the process of mapping out our 12-month journey. What does it look like to be a Blitzy customer? There's all these key milestones we have to do. We have to kick off. We have to train everyone, onboard at scale. And then moving from there, we've got to make sure we're delivering value. And that is super key to what we're working on is what are the value realization events that we have and how can we map those back to success for our customers? We're also looking at what is the right governance structure. So how often do we meet with our executives, our steering committee, really making sure that we're being really crisp there and always delivering value back to our customers. And then looking further down the line, what are the key touch points we have to have? Maybe you have new folks that come in who need to onboard again. How do we do that and how do we do that at scale? So right now it's really what does a 12-month journey look like? What does a 6-month journey look like? And how do we deliver value for our customers?
I think value is the operative term. How do you get value to your customers? How do you deliver that? What would you share about what that process looks like?
Maybe some background on myself as well. I come from the testing space and have spent a lot of time in customer success. So really spent the last 4 years working with customers on delivering value in the testing space. What is fundamentally different here is we deliver value so quickly. So my previous jobs I've worked, it's always how do you build the business case and then how do you deliver that back to the customers? And that's, okay, we've gotten out of implementation, you're 3 months in, here's your first value realization event, and here's a very complicated ROI calculator. It's totally different here at Blitzy, which is really cool. We deliver our first value realization event in the first few days.
Amazing.
And so that is what we call reverse engineering. We ingest the customer's code base, we then produce back a tech spec, and the customer reviews that. That can take multiple months, and it's a multiple $million-dollar contract with a lot of professional services companies. And we deliver that in weeks to days, depending on the size of the code base. So that's kind of the first VRE or value realization event. And then from there, it's kicking off into what we call our agent action plan, making sure that we're prompting and delivering on the right thing that the customer wants. And then from there, we go into cogen, actually delivering output. But all of these are different value realization points across the life cycle, and those happen at the project level. So every project is getting all these value points.
And I think the whole sort of platform proposition is the leverage that you can deliver for customers. So maybe take us inside of Blitzy to your team. What are some of the ways that you're standing up AI workflows, agents, et cetera, to deliver more value for customers?
And let me kind of walk you through what it looks like, what our team looks like, what our structure looks like. So we have a pod structure right now, and we think about post-sales a little bit differently than the average customer would. So if you think about traditionally, there's customer success teams, right? These are non-traditional folks who are helping you deliver on typically technical problems, right? We've actually hired really technical folks who then we're having kind of upskill to be account managers. And so what we're solving for is the iterative loops that you typically have with like an account management team where they can't solve your question, they have to go back, ask their technical team and come back. We have staffed truly technical folks to our customers. So our structure is typically a AISC, an AI solutions consultant. They're your main point of contact that you're working with hand in hand. You do then also have an account manager. And then we typically will also staff what's called an EMCS, or an engineering manager client solutions. And so you have 2 technical folks that are staffed digging into your problems. They understand your environment, your code base. They're really an extension of your team. So that's how we staff it at a high level, and it's been really valuable. On the agentic front, we're working on bringing in a CSP tool to really start to make sure that we're evolving our motion and making sure that our teams can scale. So that's one key thing, and we've got agents working for account handoffs. You always have an AE who's always handing off the account, so we're making sure that we're like using AI in those workflows. We're heavily leveraging cloud right now to do that.
And give us maybe one example, like what is a customer that has seen a lot of success that maybe helps drive that motion?
I'll talk about one. It's a large financial services institution that we're working with, and I think maybe just something I want to highlight too that we just did was just really cool is we just went on site for 2 days and we did what's called Blitzy Bootcamp. And we're not doing that with all of our customers. We just did that as well with one of our large insurance companies as well we partner with. So we typically will do these in person. They're Blitzy Bootcamps. Our team will set aside 2 to 4 days, depending on the customer, to work on specifically bringing your teams up to speed on becoming certified experts. So it's a really cool program. We bring in cross-functional people as well. And our goal is to make sure that your team is as successful as our team, right? And you all are as experts on our platform as we are, and that helps us scale as well. So there's a mutually beneficial thing there as well. So that's one thing that I think was really cool that we've piloted in terms of overall customer success and value. What I've seen be super cool is it's the ingestion phase. It's the reverse engineering phase. We have done that for customers in literally what takes multiple months per project, we are doing in weeks for customers. So that has been really valuable and impactful.
Definitely. And last, like, how can we help you? How can we help your
Yeah.
team grow here in Boston and soon around the world?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. One, we're hiring. We're actively hiring. So I mentioned our structure before. We are hiring for account managers, AI solutions consultants, and EMCSs. So please, if you know anyone, refer them, send them over to me. We would love that. And then if you are a customer, if you know of any companies that are struggling with modernizing legacy code bases and are also looking to accelerate overall quality output of outcomes and engineering cycles, reach out. We'd be more than happy to have a conversation.
This is Sarah deSilva, the Director of Customer Success here at Blitzy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.